Right.
We start Solo Camping for Two, Episode 1. It starts with an atmospheric train ride to an atmospheric bus ride with our boy Gen, a 34-year-old dude whose hobby is camping by himself, who enjoys the carefree feeling of traveling with nothing but himself and loves the natural world. He gets to the Iwatani campsite management office and gets his camp slip and stuff and sets up his tent and then goes to start the campfire. He prefers to gather his own wood, if the campground allows it, and starts by finding the driest of branches. He uses cedar leaves he gathered on site and uses his fire steel that he bought last week to start the fire. And throughout this episode, basically half the shit that this guy has, I have in real life. Fire steel, that exact tent, I have.
That's pretty sick, Greg. I'm proud of you.
I don't have that sick little fire stainless steel thing he has right there, but I'm like, you know what? Maybe I need that. Maybe I'll go ahead and purchase one.
At
just
one
like
point, they have all of the objects and companies that are involved with the show.
Yeah.
And like all of the sponsorships appear on the screen at the same time. I was like, damn, people really fuck with camping hard. Like I said, and it's just not like a thing for me. I'm not a big nature boy. I went hiking once. I went to the lake twice in the 3 years that I lived there. It's just not for me. The last time I went camping was like 10 years ago.
I will say, like, his campsite here, and I don't know like how crazy camping they get later on in the series. I don't know if they're doing like straight up backwoods camping where there's like nothing there, but here this is a pretty standard campsite. I mean, you can find a campsite like this anywhere in America too, where you just get your little camp plot that you pitch your tent, and it's nice that they have like a bathroom over there. You can wash your hands. You don't have to worry about gathering potable water and storing it in some container that you have to bring along with you. I'm familiar with this style here, where you kind of have some amenities that are there, and I'm not like digging a hole in the middle of nowhere and popping a squat to go to the bathroom.
My greatest fear is pooping in the wilderness, by the way.
And then
And having to deal with it. Just exist in the world where I have to poop in the wilderness and then like cover it up and then like make like a fucking like a post-it note and put it next to the I pooped here, careful where you step.
damn.
That is my greatest fear.
Okay, well, Gen says he doesn't have much experience doing that and using the fire steel. So now he is also using dry hemp rope to help the sparks get started. And then he kicks back and cracks a cold one with the boys that aren't there because he is by himself. It's nighttime now, and he narrates that he loves being by himself and can feel free once he is out of the city and surrounded by nature. He goes to the restrooms and walks back and thinks how it's nice and quiet, and the clouds are hanging in the sky, and he returns to his campsite to find a girl with her pants down. Flashing those panties. She got the memo about the pantsless dancing that DJ Montague
I told you
was all about.
He brought the beer and she was like, well, the beer's here, underwear out.
But he's surprised. She's surprised. And she goes to pull up her pants.
Why is she surprised?
Well, because her pants are down.
Yeah, but like you did that and you didn't start this fire. Someone else is here. They're going to return eventually.
It's almost like Goldilocks. Like she walks into the house, tries all three porridges, and is like, this bed's nice.
I'm gonna take a fucking nap, dude. Yeah.
Yeah, and then the bears get back and they're like, what the fuck? And they're like, she's like, no, what the fuck to you?
Yeah, oh hey, whoa, wait, don't come in. I'm already here. What do you mean? It's like, no, this is my house, bitch. The fuck you mean?
She's just squatting now.
Yeah.
Like, they went to the grocery store, gets home, and someone's squatting in their house.
Well, it's been 24 hours, I've decided, and this is my house now.
And she goes to pull up her pants, but she falls over, and he tries to catch her before she falls, but then falls on top of her in the standard trope of falling on to top of someone like Dan
wow,
Dan.
You're all over me. Oops.
Yeah. Oh, and then he gets the good old slap across the face. Yeah, it was his fault.
Yeah, well, I mean, it kind of was. He tried to help her.
How dare he try to help a pantsless girl?
If you're going to try and help somebody, at least be sensible about it. And if you fall, fucking move. Please.
No, fall on top of them while your pants are also falling off.
Yeah, this isn't This isn't that type of show, Greg.
Well, we don't know yet. Afterwards, she explains what happened, and she booked a campsite online, but then got lost and then fell into the river, so her pants got all wet, and she stumbled on Gen's camp and decided to use his fire to dry off. Gen is like, man, you use my fire without my permission? And she's like, yeah, but my name is Shizuku. And Gen is like, I don't give a fuck. You warmed up enough, so go to your site and set up your shit. Shizuku is like, well, you know about that. I was planning on renting a tent, but since I got here so late, the management office is closed. So, what do you think I should do?
Oops.
Gen is like, I don't know, maybe go the fuck home. And she's like, why are you so mean? And he's like, well, you can't spend the night without a tent, and it's your fault for being late, so why don't you just fucking go home? Shizuku is like, man, so I come all this way and get lost for nothing. And he's like, yeah, man, not my problem.
Sucks to suck, dude.
She's like, there's no buses running this late, and I'll get stranded, and then I'll die and come back to haunt you as a ghost. And Gen is like, what the fuck?
It's like, sucks to suck, dude. Damn.
Yep.
Well, at least you got that planned out.
Gen thinks, what's up with this chick? She's only thinking of herself in this situation, and not that she's intruding on my circumstances, and acts like she's entitled to kindness, and she's the kind of woman I hate the most.
He's wrong, but he's not all the way wrong. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, he's being too much of a dick, but he's kind of right. It's like, he came out here for his solace.
He's
planned
right,
whole
but his
day.
execution is wrong.
Yeah, his intention is right. But being
Yeah.
a dick is unnecessary, I guess.
Yes, I agree.
Okay.
But he's a nice guy, though, because he tells her to wait, and he goes to check the management office since it's used as a shelter in emergencies, but it's locked shut, and there aren't any rental items outside. And then he thinks, what the hell is he doing helping her? He gets back to camp, and Shizuku is cooking beer can chicken, and she's like, I didn't have anything to do, so I cooked dinner. And it's not much of an apology, but why don't we eat together? Gen is like, holy shit, beer can chicken? I've always dreamed of making it, but never could because I camp solo. Gen, I think you could make it solo too.
Yeah,
man.
yeah,
You just
I don't
gotta
know what he was
It's
worried
not that
about.
big of a deal.
He's really overthinking things.
Shizuku is like, I saw it in a camping vlog and told myself I'd make it my first time camping. And she says she's pretty good at cooking, so it should be a pretty sick beer can chicken. Gen is like, ugh, I love meat. But no, thank you. And says, I'm not doing this stuff because I'm nice. I'm doing it so you leave me alone. And then she slams a golden skinned drumstick into his mouth. And he's like, holy shit, this is fucking fire. He geeks out about the chicken being so juicy because of the beer and seasoned to perfection, but snaps out of it and is like, what the fuck are you doing? And she's like, I know this is all my fault and I'm causing you trouble. But she said she doesn't want to go home without camping. The night goes on, and Shizuku is trying to chat it up with Gen and says that she got into camping after going with her friends, and she started watching YouTube, but her friends weren't that interested in it, and she's taken a sip of her 6% alcohol Chuhai. She then says she thought, hey, I don't need friends to camp. I can camp by myself. And Gen thinks to himself that he knows how that feels. And she says that she gets why he likes to go camping alone. Gen stands up and is like, I'll tell you one thing. You're too inexperienced for solo camping. You jump in without thinking. You lack knowledge and experience and preparation skills. Solo camping grants a lot of freedom, but you need to be able to look after yourself. And those that can't do that don't deserve to solo camp. And you should head home for tonight if you understand.
If you don't want to die.
I have a note that says, I like how the clouds and the trees and nature are kind of mirroring Gen's current mood and emotions. Because when he went on his little rant about how only the elite can solo camp, kind of the clouds covered the moon. It got a little bit darker. And I don't know if it was intentional or not, but I am assuming it is, and I liked it.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, he is. It's like the moon's being a dick, trying to cover up. It's shame because it's like, this guy's an asshole. I don't want to be seen with him.
Yeah, and the moon is just like,
Yeah, nah, dude. Don't say stuff like that, man.
I'm not with this guy.
Dude,
Yeah.
that's racist. I gotta go.
But he says he'll tell her a secret since she shared her
What a fucking
tasty-ass
secret.
beer can chicken.
Dude, what a fucking
And
secret
he said,
this guy is.
Tonight, I thought I was alone and that he thought he had this place all to himself. And then the clouds part to reveal the clear, starry sky. Shizuku is like, holy shit, look at that sparkling sky. And she stands up and spins around like a Disney princess, and her blanket covering her exposed bottom flies off and is just flashing her panties at Gen again. And she's like, no fair. You knew the sky would look this good, and you were trying to have it all to yourself. Gen is like, of course I knew.
That's
I
not
just
how
looked at
the
the fucking
sky
weather.
works, dude. Like, also, you both are idiots. You deserve each other.
He's just like, I just looked at the weather. It's not really that fucking hard. And this was supposed to be all mine. And she's like, nah, not on my watch. And Gen is like, well, you look dumb just showing your panties off all the time. Shizuku gets covered and is mad at him and is like, okay, you and I both know that was your fucking fault. He's like, well, I don't even know your name. And he's like, I don't have to tell you that shit. And she's like, are you telling me I have to spend the night with a nameless man? And he's like, fine, my name's Gen.
Also, girl, who cares? Live your life. You are out here by yourself. Ain't nobody gonna judge you.
Yeah.
I mean,
Just
you judge yourself, but
flash those panties. The moon's in the sky and you're also mooning Gen. Just moon it up.
nailing both moons.
Yeah, I mean, this is almost like Ubel Blah. There's two moons. All we need is a big black sword. She's like, oh shit, Gen. Okay, I see you. And Gen thinks, why is she being so forward? And Shizuku is like, I have an idea. You said I was a shit camper. So how about you be my camping teacher? And until I'm confident at solo camping, then I'm sticking with you. Gen is like, damn, you are not listening to me at all. I want to be alone and solo camp by myself. And Shizuku is like, fuck yeah, let's solo camp.
Together.
Solo camp for two. Pops up the narrating explaining what a tent does and the importance of a tent. And Shizuku is now in Gen's tent, and he gets to sleep outside in his mummy sleeping bag. So my note here says, the brands in the show are real, and they show a screenshot of all the brands later on in the episode. And I have the exact same shirt as Gen from it-aesthetics.com, where Gen used the promo code TABC10 on checkout to save 10% off of his entire solo camping order.
That's so sick. Greg, did that shirt keep you warm?
That shirt did keep me warm, and unfortunately for Gen, he had to give it to Shizuku to keep herself warm because she did not save 10% by using the promo code TABC10 on checkout. She should visit it-aesthetics.com and use the promo code for her next camping trip.
Hell yeah. That was sick, Greg. I'm so proud of you.
The narrator continues and says that the temperature drops 0.6 degrees Celsius for every 100 meters you go up, and the perceived temperature drops by 1 degree Celsius for every meter per second of wind speed. Gen is like, it's fucking cold, and why am I putting myself through this for that woman? Flashes back, and Gen and Shizuku are arguing about Gen telling her to go home and her saying she isn't going until he agrees to solo camp for two. And Gen is like, why the fuck would I ever agree to doing that? And how do you expect to stay here without a tent? And she's like, don't try to scare me. And he gets mad and is like, don't underestimate nature, which is true. And camping solo, but then says that she can take his tent. Flashes back forward, and Gen is like, I'm out of my fucking mind, and that she ruined my entire fucking trip. Morning comes, and Shizuku wakes up, all refreshed and warm inside of Gen's tent. And she's like, damn, it's cold as fuck. And then sees Gen sleeping outside, and she's like, holy shit, he stayed out here all night? And thinks maybe she shouldn't have taken his offer. She drapes a blanket over Gen, and gets to making some breakfast. And the wafting scent wakes Gen, and he has a flashback to camping with his dad, and his dad telling him to wake up. And he's like, thanks, Dad. Shizuku is like, Dad? Man, shouldn't I be Mom? And he stumbles out of his chair and says Shizuku's name, and she's like, cool, I'm glad you remembered my name. Shizuku sprinkles on some basil and presents a clam tomato risotto using store-bought ingredients and hands Gen a cup. Gen is like, wait, are you using all my shit to cook? And she's like, stop being so petty. And he goes to eat it and is like, damn, this looks fire too. And she's like, oh, seems you like it. And he's like, yeah, whatever, it eyed.
It's mediocre at best. This is delicious. I hate you, you stupid bitch. I'm leaving.
Gen is like, it looks like you only packed food. And she's like, yeah, I like to cook. And I forgot to pack literally everything else. Gen is like, well, you should have thought it through a little bit, but there's nothing wrong with having a passion for cooking. And setting doesn't matter when you're enjoying food.
True.
Or in setting does matter when you're enjoying food, sorry.
I thought he said doesn't.
She then starts geeking out about cooking, and Gen is like, damn, should have kept my mouth shut. He gets up and makes coffee, and Shizuku is like, hey, I want some fucking coffee too. And he's like, fucking chill, girl, I'm making you some. Shizuku sits back and thinks the coffee tastes and feels better here, and maybe it's because the air is so clean. And she says, here it's like listening to an orchestra of Mother Nature.
Okay, this image right here, my thing with camping that always fucks me up is like, you're like 10 feet away from your car, like usually when you go camping. Obviously, public transit is more available in Japan, so you could like take a bus, you got your backpack, whatever, you go out into the wilderness. But there's like a car park right fucking behind them, right? Like he stepped over the fence to lay next to the river and called it camping. That to me is like that's glamping.
That's what I was saying in the beginning, where I feel like right now how he's camping is, I wouldn't say it's glamping, but it's very like safe camping.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
he's not backwards hiking and then has to like create his own shelter and has to go find water and shit.
Yeah, this is chill. This is a nice experience. This isn't.
Yeah, he's literally just chilling.
TV show, which I'm fine with. Like I'm dude. When I say glamping, I'm making a joke. I'm not. I don't actually think that's glamping. I know what glamping is, where you take like an actual RV and you just park it somewhere and sleep in the RV. But it is funny to me that somebody could just walk up to that fence, smoking a cigarette, and just pee right to where he is.
Oh, 100%.
It's that's what humors me.
But they check out at the management office, and Shizuku apologizes that she got lost and she'll definitely come again. And then Gen sneaks off. Shizuku catches up to him, and he's like, man, go home. And she's like, I'm riding the same bus as you dumb fuck. And we still got to decide on our solo camping for 2. And he's like, fuck that. And they argue. And she's like, why are you so against it? And he's caught off guard a little and is like, well, it doesn't matter. Shizuku is like, fine, I respect your decision. And he's like, woo, finally. And then she's like, only after we go solo camping for 2 once. And if you don't come, I'll camp by myself, and I'll probably die, and I'll turn into a ghost, and I'll haunt you again. And he's like, you already made that fucking joke. What does that even mean? Gen sighs, and they both narrate that this is how they started their solo camping for 2.
Adorable. They show them and like their later journey in the almost like credits. And then there's some other people, like their friends that they talk to in the outro.
Yeah, I assume so. I don't know any of these characters yet, but yeah. But what would you do if you were in a situation like this? Literally camping by yourself and some girl is in your campsite randomly that has no pants on and knows nothing about camping and is like, hey, let's camp together. That's a question. What would you do?
I mean, I deal with idiots all the time at work, so it's pretty much like, you're just like, okay, are you lost? Do you need some help? What's going on? Do you need to call your friends? Do you need to go outside? Are you okay? You ask all the normal questions. And then if they're like, well, I don't know what I'm doing, you're like, okay, well, you could sit here, and you treat them like a child, basically. I mean, that literally is like work all the time. That happens at least once a weekend, where somebody comes up and they're like, I lost my ID. Can you announce it on the microphone? It's like, no, I'm not going to do that, you fucking idiot. You could sit here and then you could look around, or you could find where your friends are. My friend Bill, he left like an hour ago. Can you get on the microphone and shout Bill and ask him to come to the DJ booth? It's important. We're leaving. It's like, I'm not stopping whatever I'm doing just for what you need. And that's how I would approach the situation with this person, I would assume. But like, it's also like, if I'm sitting here streaming and like doing my video games and stuff, and then some random woman came into my house and was like warming her butt on my oven, I'd be like, okay, we've got a problem now. Are you here to murder me? Is there like an issue? I feel unsafe.
I just feel like it's weird on both sides. Like, I think in this episode, I think it's a little bit exaggerated on how much of a dick he's being, but I can 100% see like where he's coming from. It's like you have a one-person tent, you have one sleeping bag, you have one chair, you have one everything. It's not like his tent can fit more than one person. I have that tent, and I can, for a fact, a grown man, there like two people are not fitting in that fucking tent. I don't know what I would do in that situation. And also I would think it's fucking weird. Like how, like, I guess how can you be so nonchalant? And like, she doesn't know Gen at all. She doesn't know his history. He could be some sort of serial killer.
Right,
like nobody
true.
knows, but she's just kind of there hanging out, like pushing him, taking her in almost.
Yeah, 100%.
I feel like it's just unsafe on both sides.
I agree.
Here.
Either one of them could be serial killer. Statistically, it would be him.
Yes. But she could be a serial killer.
Yeah,
Who knows?
yeah. Statistically,
I mean, she could have just put some roofies inside of that beer can chicken and he would just be out.
he would be dead. And then we
Yeah.
would have the what was the movie? Audition?
Oh, damn. Where she just uses him as a sleeping bag.
I don't think that's what happens in Audition.
I think so. Yeah. I think
There is a bag.
yeah, that they use to sleep inside of somebody else.
Did we watch the same movie?
I think so. I just thought that it was an interesting scenario. And I think in kind of like a story fantasy setting, as you said before, this is like every guy's dream. It's just like, oh, I'm just
That
doing
was the
this
weird
thing that I
part for
like
me.
by myself.
Yeah.
And then some like hot girl that's like half naked is
Dude.
just at my campsite. And it's just like, all right,
Yeah,
well,
yeah, yeah. This is totally a show that's beginning to play in the male fantasy. Like, legit, I remember a friend of mine and I would talk about video gaming stuff, and they're like, why don't girls come to the arcade? That's where all the cool guys hang out. And it's like, no, we're fucking lame, dude. We suck. Like, not you and me, Greg, specifically, but me and that
no,
friend
no,
back
I
then.
suck 100%. I think like deep down, I was just hoping that some hot girl would come into the arcade and then sit down next to me as we play Soul Calibur, and she was like really bad, but then she really wanted to get good, and then we would have some sort of friendship where like, oh, we can play video games together, and then it blossoms and fucking now I'm like, hey, I got Soul Calibur at home. We don't have to spend quarters to play. Why don't we just practice at home and then go to the arcade and own people? And then it turns into solo camping for two. And then I quickly realized that that is not realistic at all,
none
and
of
that
this
will
is
never
realistic.
happen.
None of it is. And like, this is also like, what was the anime you extra credit watched pretty recently?
Which of the 19 are you
Right?
talking
No,
about?
it wasn't last season. It was the season before, the cosplay one.
Oh, 2.5 dimensional
Yeah.
selection?
That it's like that is the male fantasy. He's like, I am only into 2D girls, and you have nothing
Oh, yeah.
on my 2D girls. And then like the super hot girl shows up, and she's like, all I want to do is cosplay. I don't really even actually care all that much. And then the guy's like, well, she's all right, I guess, but I will abstain because I am a true hero of the 2D woman. And then all of a
Yeah.
sudden he's like, I'm super into this girl. Like that, it's the male fantasy. And
Yeah.
realistically, it is true in some cases. If you're passionate about football, basketball, jock sports in general, generally women will eventually look at you fondly because of one, your athleticism, and two, you could show it off in a public scenario. And so eventually some girl might hit on you. Miracles.
Well, I know in the beginning stages of like League and the LCS, people were lining up waiting to like fucking jerk Reginald off because they're like, oh, I want to be good at League of Legends too. You're good at League of Legends. Like, hey, I'll just come and, let me live in your gamer house. Like, I think that was the dream when League first started. Like, everyone was doing gamer houses. You would have your entire squad there, and everyone wanted to be a part of that and were willing to jerk people off for it.
I don't think so.
Truth.
But don't
even
ruin this
pretend
male
that
fantasy for me, dude. I just want to believe, all right, bro? Like, let me have this. Maybe, but also, like, that's also, like, the top 1%. It's, like, the highest you could be. Because in general, like, PC bangs in Korea, it's more likely to happen that you'll find, like, a female walking through there and being like, oh, wow, that guy's mildly attractive, than it is in America when you're only at home. It's just playing to the male fantasy, but this is camping and it makes me laugh.
I thought it was silly enough.
Yes, I did too. I enjoyed it. I actually quite enjoyed it, which is surprising because like I don't like camping.